Hi everyone, welcome to 16 Figure Focus, and in this short video we're going to take a look at the newly announced, came as a bit of a surprise, Hot Toys 1/6 scale Indiana Jones from the upcoming movie that is now released, Indiana Jones 5, or what's called the Dial of Destiny. So this is obviously the version of Indiana Jones, the modern version, in the same way that the Batman from The Flash was the modern version of Michael Keaton, the 71-year-old, and not the kind of whatever age he was in 1989 or 1992. This is the current look for Indiana Jones. He's 80. I mean, you know, Harrison Ford is 80 years of age, or thereabouts. And I remember noticing the kind of how old he looked when I was watching 1923. So just in case you don't know, Yellowstone, there's like 5 seasons? Yes, 5 seasons. Fantastic, great TV. And then they went back and they made a prequel, 1883, and I think one 1923. But in this, he's in 1923, and he looks pretty damn old up on that horse. But look, he's an older gentleman. He's in around 80. So with that being said, this head sculpt looks fantastic. It is, I think they've absolutely nailed it. Now, I know, full disclosure actually, Indiana Jones, the original trilogy, while I've watched the movies and I appreciate them from what they are, and I know that they are iconic movies. I believe, you know, the word iconic gets thrown around a lot. I'm guilty of it myself. But to be fair, when something's iconic, I think it's kind of like it should be like good quality or groundbreaking, but should stand the test of time. And that original trilogy, we're not going to talk about the Crystal Skull, but that original trilogy has stood the test of time. And yeah, you look back at them, they're dated and they're kind of, you know, like corny bits and some ridiculous stunts and stuff like that, but they're just fun adventure movies. And I think a lot of the die-hard Indiana Jones fans would probably want that version, the kind of younger Harrison Ford. Like, I'm not going to pick this up unless I absolutely love the movie, and I don't think this is one for me, because Indiana Jones kind of like Back to the Future. I love the original trilogy of both. If they're on, I'll watch them. I'll always be entertained by them, but they just weren't like ingrained in my childhood for some reason. I was always gravitated towards more Terminator 1 or 2, Aliens 1 and 2. The first two RoboCop movies, the original Star Wars trilogy, The Matrix, The Dark Knight, the 1989-1992 Batman. It was just an IP that I basically wasn't head over heels in love with, which actually takes bias out of this in a way, because I think this is a very, very pleasant surprise for Hot Toys 1/6 scale collectors. I think this looks fantastic. So let's go through it. So first of all, just off the top of my head there, a few things to note. Leather jacket, just like we've seen in Days of Future Past Wolverine, got that, you know, resurgence of leather materials as opposed to pleather, which can crack and peel. They've got a genuine leather whip. I'm not sure if it's actually wired. It does look like it's wired. It does look like there's a wire running down the center of this from some of these images, but I've got to wait until the Sideshow put up their blurb and stuff like that. I probably could check Hot Toys actually and have a read of it, but I'm probably just going to wait till Sideshow. So this here, what else? Yeah, so genuine leather jacket, genuine leather whip, and leather shoes. The hat, I'm not sure what it's made out of, but then again, I'm not sure what it's made of in the actual movie. You've got its tie. One thing to note is that satchel, I think in previous versions, that's prone to peeling, and it doesn't say that's leather. Hopefully it will be, but you know, with Hot Toys, you can't bank that the sculpt is going to improve. You can't bank that they're going to fix joints and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that all the time. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go into the deluxe version of this. Alright, so where do we have the deluxe version? Was he in the deluxe version? This is the deluxe version, yeah, because I want to start off, and I want to just, first of all, start off with everything that actually comes with it. I don't have a price on this at the moment. I remember seeing some kind of, I think there were speculation prices, but they did seem quite reasonable, but I wouldn't hold my breath. So there's two versions, there's the deluxe and the regular. This is the deluxe. So just to point out, make very, very clear that if you're getting the deluxe version, the star of the show here, that extra thing is just this base. That's the difference between the deluxe and the regular. Obviously the deluxe can be a bit more expensive. I think they've done a great job with this base. I tend not to use bases. I don't like the sand bases. I don't like the typical I don't know what would you call it, the Super Star Destroyer floor or the Death Star floor with Star Wars. They're just too edgy. I think rounder bases or diorama bases work best for me. I tend not to use them because I prefer to stand the figures freestanding. However, for example, when a base is particularly good, it's environmental. That Bespin Luke base, that was a home run. Not only did it look good and was environmental, but it lit up in all the right places. You have the kind of red orange underneath him, and then you've got those kind of, I don't know, generators around the side, and they both light up as well. And it's USB powered. The Spider-Man Homecoming, the final swingsuit from Spider-Man, not Homecoming, No Way Home. The classic kind of shiny red and blue Spider-Man suit with that really, really good head sculpt. That is a great base, the kind of snowy rooftop base. Again, environmental. The one that's coming with the Mark III, is it 2.0 or 3.0 with that Ironmonger base as well. These environmental bases, these are ones that, you know, I'm very interested in. I think they do a lot more than just a hexagon or a diamond, or, you know, it just takes me out of it with that kind of thing. So the Indiana Jones says Indiana Jones on the front. If you don't like this, you can just turn around like that, and what you have in the back there, you've got a broken rope bridge. Okay, so this is kind of like, you know, we've seen there's scenes before, obviously, and I think I can't remember, it's the second or third Indiana Jones movie where they're on a rope bridge and it cracks and breaks and stuff like that. It's cut down off them, but a really nice touch. So you've got this kind of like a wooden stake here, you got these rocks, all these different ropes, and then of course the broken rope bridge. Personally, I would display it like this if I was getting this. I wouldn't want the logo on the front, but other people would want the logo on the front. So what else does it come with? So that's the difference between the regular and deluxe. The deluxe obviously comes with that. So separate rolling eyeballs function, excellent stuff. Yeah, it has, that's kind of coming as standard. That head sculpt is so good. We'll take a closer look at that later on. You've got his bag. Just the Hangover popped into my head there, that movie when he's got that side bag, you know, they're saying it's a satchel. Indiana Jones is a satchel when they were making fun of Zach Galifianakis. Let me know if I've got that right or wrong in the comment section down below. They're making fun of him. So we got a few, look what looks like a pliers, some sort of a rope in this bag as well. So he seems to have the backpack and the kind of satchel. Genuine leather jacket, shoes and whip. It says nothing of the hat, but then again, I don't think the hat was actually made of leather. I think it was more of material. Hat, I don't think is removable either. But I mean, come on, you have to have Indiana Jones with the hat, like. So LED light up torch, and then this thing, which is that the Dial of Destiny? I would imagine it is. I haven't seen the movie. I might be going to see it later on. Bunch of swap out hands, and you've got the tie. So you can have the open collar look. You can have the tie. Even like the little scuffing on the web belt he has there is pretty cool. So we're going to take a closer look at some other images now. Don't have a price on this at the moment. Quick flick onto Sideshow. Let's do a quick search. So if I go down here and click Hot Toys, and then I'm going to shop all, and then this would be a pre-release if it is there, and sort from newest. So if IG12 is here, yeah, IG12 is here. So they haven't uploaded it to Sideshow yet. So right, so back to this anyway. Let's take a look at some of these images. Like my initial thoughts, just like the first thing I always notice about these figures are proportions. Like if it's, you know, too tall, too short, if it's too broad, if it has unusual structures, which wasn't screen accurate. Now I haven't seen the movie, but just initially, these proportions look good to me. So I think the jacket sits quite nice. Even like what I like about this figure is this is one of these figures that comes with a lot of accessories, or comes with a decent amount of accessories, and you can pose with a lot of different things, and it doesn't look like you're trying to shoehorn all these accessories into it. So here you have him on that deluxe base, the one that comes with the base that comes with the deluxe version. You have him with the, I presume is the Dial of Destiny. You have his kind of LED powered torch here. You've got a side satchel. That's the one that in previous releases had actually had kind of broke and peeled. You got the genuine leather jacket, of course. Your genuine leather whip is on his shoulder here, and the shoes as well. We'll take a closer look in a while. Not posed with the tie here, but you could pose him with the tie. I don't think I would if I can't rule out not getting this. If I see the movie and I love it, I could possibly get it. But I'm kind of a purist at heart. I kind of like the original. When it comes to Star Wars, I collect most the original trilogy. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the quality in Star Wars, there's a lot of stuff that comes from Star Wars is unfortunately not good. For me, it's original trilogy, Rogue One, Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2 specifically, and Andor. Andor is fantastic. I don't think we're going to see figures of it, but absolutely fantastic. But then you take things like the Book of Boba Fett, which didn't land right. Even Kenobi didn't land right. While that being said, there were some fantastic scenes involving Vader and of course Ewan McGregor in Kenobi, but you get where I'm coming from. Right, so flicking through this again, like look, that looks super. That looks really, really good. And it's worth noting that they haven't photoshopped out the crotch grabber or the waist grabber here. There is none. What there is a tiny little loop which you can't really see, which goes up the pant leg and wraps around the calf, which that's, you know, simple little solution, takes away the waist grabber, takes away the crotch grabber, and even if it doesn't even if it starts scratching the calf, you're never going to see the calf because it's under, you know, he doesn't wear shorts. So there is an image of that, I think, later on. So then again, that caters for the people who don't want to use the stands or give the appearance that there's no stand there, like myself. But maybe if you don't like the magnetic base, like I have that Joker magnetic base now, I never have any issues with it, but I'm used to posing figures without stands. I don't live on a fault line, I don't have kids, the floorboards here aren't creaky so that it's not going to fall over and stuff. Rarely have issues with things falling over because I take the time to pose them first flat, making sure those feet are flat. Of course that limits your posing, completely normal, and you know, some cases I do use certain things like that. Superman, where is he? The Justice League Superman, he's posed levitating, so yeah, I use a waist grabber, but I put a small bit of foam in between the figure itself and the waist grabber just so it doesn't damage the suit. Alright, so anyway, simple solution, should be a picture of that later on. Head sculpt, god, that if it turns out this is a prototype, we know that from prototype to product there's usually a bit of a downgrade. But if we actually manage to get this, or even a slight downgrade, I think people would be very happy. That looks like modern day Harrison Ford to me. I think the issue is that the diehard Indiana Jones fans would probably prefer one from, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark, or basically from the original trilogy. I completely get where they're coming from as well. But then again, the diehard indie fans will probably like this movie and, you know, get this. Of course, there's the argument as well that the diehard indie fans won't like this movie, and I don't think it's getting particularly good reviews. Also, there is the point that, again, this is not a spoiler, I haven't seen it, this you can tell from the trailers and whatever, that they de-age him, they de-age Harrison Ford, and the first part of the movie is flashback. That could be a perfect opportunity for Hot Toys to come out with a de-age version of Indiana Jones with the leather coat, with the, you know, the leather, all the leather accessories here again with the whip and all that stuff, but just kind of more from the original trilogy. I think people would be delighted with that. Yeah, so genuine leather jacket, shoes and whip. Again, I'm not sure, the hat's probably a material, hat's probably not made of leather anyway, but the side satchel, they could have gone all the way there. Very unusual the way they're giving you a genuine leather jacket, shoes and whip, but then not the side satchel, unless they haven't printed it. But if they're advertising these as leather, why would they leave out the fact that the side satchel and that strap is leather? Because yeah, more than likely isn't. This appears to be wired, but you can't really tell. This could be a bit of Photoshop trickery. It would be up to you to kind of read that side. I'd love to read the Sideshow description here, but unfortunately it's not. This figure is not on Sideshow yet. If you could bear with me, I might be able to check no, I probably won't be able to. I was going to check the Hot Toys website, but when I'm doing this here now, it's just going to take. If you've ever checked out the Hot Toys website, it's pretty damn slow. But even here, the way this figure just standing there, it looks like a shrunken down 1/6 scale person. And I know like that's what they're trying to achieve, but they don't get that with every single figure. Some of these figures do look a bit toyish, to be quite honest. This doesn't. This looks quite well. I hope now that there's for the diehard Indiana Jones fans that they keep the standard on this and that there's no or very little drop off. Yeah, because I've always been a fan of like, look, if they're giving you the prototype, I expect to get the prototype. And you know, and like, I don't really like that argument of no, you can't expect the prototype. I know they put in the small print, actual product may differ, and that, you know, when you're going from like they're made one, when this goes into mass production, errors can be made and stuff like that. I get all that, but because they're so expensive, I do expect it to be the prototype or very, very close to the prototype. And they have definitely done figures which have improved from prototype to final product, or ones that have held standard. And yeah, sometimes we get a bit of slippage as well. For example, that Tina, I think I could see Angelina Jolie in the prototype images, but I don't really see it in the actual product images. Quick look on the base that comes with the regular version, because I think people who maybe want to display this in a detolf or something like that, maybe they won't want. Yeah, see, there you go. It's just a basic kind of a rectangular base. Not a fan, to be honest. I want to see if I just want to get that image with all the stuff here. So that's strange. It doesn't actually show the base here. very strange. Is it behind me maybe? No, that is unusual. Yeah, I suppose not unusual really. Yeah, so you can't see, where is that thing gone away? There we go. Yeah, I can't actually see the base there, so let's flick through one last look of it. It's just your standard square base really, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, look, it's deluxe or bust here for me, I think. And there's the shoes as well, which are your genuine leather shoe. Even the stitching and stuff like that looks pretty good. Yeah, the deluxe base all the way, even like that cross, it just, I think that looks horrible. To be honest, that base and that crotch grabber compared to with the base and that little fancy ankle grabber, calf grabber where you can't see it, just looks like he's standing there. Yeah, look, in conclusion, I think this is a very pleasant surprise. I think this is a win for Indiana Jones collectors. Look, what's not to like? The sculpt is great. The paint apps on the head sculpt looks great. You got your leather, genuine leather jacket, whip, shoes. I think it comes with a nice amount of accessories. You got the backpack with the rope and the pliers and stuff like that. You've got a side satchel, a really, really nice diorama base for the deluxe. I suppose it's just a case of waiting the price, see the movie, and then if you like it, then see if it's you or not. I can see them doing the young one as well. Like that, of course, there's no guarantees, and maybe they aren't able to. But yeah, I think I can. If I was a betting man, and I am, I would say Indiana Jones fans could be in for a surprise. I've got no insider information, just a gut feeling. That's all. Look, that's the end of the video. So if you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you're picking this one up or not, or are you waiting for the young one or not, and you think they're going to make the young one or not. And you can always follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.